Scene script. Have you ever pondered how extreme weather events affect the world's most populous country, China? China's history with extreme weather events is as old as the country's vast civilization. These events, ranging from flooding to snowstorms, have left indelible marks on the nation's landscape, economy, and psyche. Take, for instance, the catastrophic 1931 China floods. This event remains one of the deadliest natural disasters in human history, with a death toll estimated in the millions. The floods devastated millions of square kilometers, causing widespread famine and disease, and leaving an enduring impact on China's social and economic fabric. Then, there was the unprecedented snowstorms of 2008, which brought the country to a standstill. The severe weather affected millions of people across central, eastern, and southern China, disrupting transportation, collapsing buildings, and causing extensive agricultural losses. The economic impact was staggering, with the total direct economic loss estimated to be in the billions. More recently, the 2020 Yangtze River floods were another stark reminder of the power of nature. Torrential rain led to the worst flooding in decades, affecting millions of people and causing significant economic damage. These floods highlighted the increasing challenge China faces in managing the effects of climate change. China's responses to these extreme weather events have been varied, from large-scale infrastructure projects to changes in policies and practices. The country's resilience and adaptability have been tested time and again, and each event has shaped its approach to disaster management and climate change adaptation. Yet, as we look back, it's crucial to remember that these historical events are not just relics of the past. They provide valuable lessons for understanding the challenges that lie ahead, particularly in a world where climate change is becoming an increasingly pressing reality. These historical events have shaped China's approach to weather disasters. But what about the present situation? Now that we have a sense of the past, let's dive into the present. How is China currently dealing with climate change and extreme weather events? China finds itself in the throes of climate change, dealing with an array of extreme weather events. Recent years have seen an uptick in floods, typhoons, and heat waves, each leaving an indelible mark on the country's landscape, population, and economy. Take, for instance, the devastating floods that have swept across numerous provinces. These floods have led to the displacement of thousands, causing significant loss of life and property. Infrastructure, too, has taken a beating, with roads washed away and buildings collapsing, leading to a ripple effect on the economy. Simultaneously, China grapples with the wrath of typhoons. The intensity of these typhoons has been increasing over the years, causing widespread destruction. They erode coastlines, damage infrastructure, and disrupt livelihoods, particularly of those in coastal areas. And then there are the relentless heat waves. They are not just a discomfort for the population, but a serious health risk, particularly for the elderly and the very young. These heat waves also put a strain on the power supply, as the demand for cooling increases. But China is not just a passive victim of these climate events. The nation has been actively implementing strategies to mitigate the effects of these extreme weather events. From constructing robust flood defense systems to developing early warning mechanisms for typhoons and planning urban structures to combat heat waves, China is proactively confronting climate change. Disaster management efforts are being ramped up, with a focus on quick response and effective rehabilitation. Meanwhile, the country is also investing in climate change mitigation strategies, aiming to achieve peak carbon dioxide emissions before 2030 and carbon neutrality before 2060. As we can see, climate change is a present reality for China, but what does the future hold? Now let's venture into the future. What do experts predict for China's climate in the coming years? Looking ahead, it appears that China is bracing for a year of extreme weather events in 2024. Experts warn that the frequency and intensity of these events are expected to increase due to the escalating effects of climate change. From scorching heat waves to torrential downpours, China could face a series of climate extremes that could potentially disrupt the lives of millions and pose serious challenges to the country's infrastructure and economy. But what are these potential impacts? Well, extreme weather events can cause a wide range of problems. For instance, heat waves can lead to droughts, which can affect agriculture and water supply. On the other hand, heavy rainfall can lead to flooding, which can cause significant damage to infrastructure and displace communities. So, how is China preparing for these potential challenges? The country is taking a multifaceted approach to climate change, mitigation, and adaptation. China is making considerable strides in reducing its emissions, with a focus on transitioning to renewable energy sources such as wind and solar power. This shift not only helps in mitigating the impact of climate change, but also serves to secure China's energy future amidst potential volatility in fossil fuel markets. Furthermore, China has been investing in improving its infrastructure resilience. This involves fortifying existing structures to withstand extreme weather events and incorporating climate resilience into the design of new infrastructure. It's a way of not just reacting to climate change, but proactively preparing for it. China's approach to dealing with climate change goes beyond just responding to events as they occur. It's about anticipating the challenges that lie ahead and taking proactive steps to meet them. This involves not just government action, but also the involvement of businesses, communities, and individuals, all playing their part in building a climate-resilient future. The future might seem daunting, but preparation and adaptation can make a significant difference. So where does this leave us? We've traveled through time, from past to future, exploring China's climate challenge. Now it's time to take a step back and see the bigger picture. We began our journey by examining the impact of extreme weather events. We've seen how rising temperatures, prolonged droughts, and record-breaking storms have strained resources and disrupted lives. We've witnessed the strain on energy grids, the stress on water supplies, and the challenges to agriculture. These events are not isolated incidents, but symptoms of a larger global phenomenon, climate change. Next, we delved into China's current climate situation. We've learned that these extreme weather events are not anomalies, but becoming the new norm. The country's hydropower systems are weakening, energy demands are on the rise, and existing infrastructure is being put to the test. And yet, amidst these challenges, China is striving to adapt and innovate, seeking out renewable energy sources and working towards a more sustainable future. Then, we ventured into the realm of future predictions and preparations. We've heard from experts warning of a year of extreme weather events in 2024. These predictions are not meant to alarm, but to prepare. They underscore the urgency of understanding our changing climate and adapting our behaviors, policies, and infrastructure to meet these new challenges head-on. But where does that leave us now? It brings us to a crossroads. Climate change is not a distant threat, but an immediate challenge. It's a challenge that requires not just understanding, but action. It involves not just China, but every nation on this planet. It's a challenge that we must face together, for our shared future depends on it. As we face the reality of climate change, it's clear that understanding our past, navigating our present, and preparing for our future is crucial. Not just for China, but for all of us sharing this planet.